Welcome back to Fast Guard News. I'm your host, Roderick Payne, and I'm here with.
Asia Payne.
And today, our subject is going to be keeping kids safe. So this is kind of a delicate topic, mainly because we have kids and most other people have kids. I thought that this would be a great episode to bring you on and have that discussion about different things when it comes down to kids. Most recently, we didn't feel unsafe about our kids being at a school, but we didn't feel comfortable about them being there either. And so let's jump right into that first subject of school. Mm-hmm. When you take your kid to school or when you go visit a school, what are the things that are most important to you about schooling or when your kid's going to go to school?
I think number one is safety, and then curriculum.
Okay, so on safety, we're a security company, so that's natural that we're going to talk about safety here.
Yeah.
I think that when you say safety, do you want to see like a full police force in front of the school or armed guards or some big tall guy that's out there going to protect the kids? Like, what do you want to see? What makes you feel safe?
Well, I would love to have a police force, but it doesn't really, I don't think it matters to have like I would take 30 guards instead of like one police officer.
One police officer.
Because we've seen it.
Oh, that was at Parkland. They had the officer there that.
And it was one officer or two,
way.
but it was just obviously not enough.
Correct.
I think the organization on how they handle their safety is a lot more important than the person itself. Like if you're organized and how this whole flow is going, it makes me feel safer. I think because we do have knowledge and we're kind of like looking for that.
Yeah, the one thing that kind of threw me off, like with their emergency procedures, I think our kids were coming home explaining to us that when they do these active shooter drills, which is a norm now, they said that they were told to play dead. I was like, that's the biggest bunch of bullshit that I ever heard. But like, I explained to my kids that if you ever hear anything or anybody shooting, get off campus. Find your brothers and your sisters, get off campus.
It's easier said than done, and hopefully, one, that they won't have to go through that, but also that they could be told something different. But
like laying down, like you go back to Columbine, that was the spot, I think it was in Colorado, and that's where the kids set up bombs at doors and did all of this stuff. This is like one of the major active shooters that we had here in the States.
Yeah, but it's the fact that he was on campus. It's what bothered. Like, how do you even get inside the school? It has to be more secure than that. You know
that's
what I mean?
one of the main things I guess you would
like
look
once
at.
you're inside, I mean, it is, you know,
you do whatever you want.
There's nothing else that's most likely going to stop you. Even if you're shooting, he's already inside.
So
it's to prevent them from even entering.
Saying that the school was, you went to one school and you said it was too restrictive. So they let the parents drop the kids off in the school and parents can't walk their kids to class. So that made you feel too restricted. No,
it didn't make me feel too restricted. I didn't look at the safety. They didn't have any security guard or anything like that.
Oh, you weren't, there was teachers out there.
Yeah, it was just teachers. But I was just more traumatized about how the school's set up.
I remember you came over, you were like, it looks like the kids are going inside of a prison. I was like, yeah, we probably won't send them
but
there.
I'm not used to that. That was a little.
So you want the presence of law enforcement. I think that's a big thing. Or security, somebody armed, right? Because
yes, but the thing is, like, it depends who's hiring these people. So, like, if you hire a security company, that's all they do. That's what they know. That's who's going to tell you where the guards are. They're going to advise the school about how they're going to do this.
Well, you hope.
I'm saying if that's the good ones. But if you're if the school's hiring a guard, that doesn't do anything. Who's going to tell him what to do?
Well, we seen how that worked out when they after the big Parkland shooting, we seen how they were hiring all of these. I think they called them guardians. And so the issue with that is they got Joe Schmoes off the street.
Yeah,
a lot of these people don't know a whole lot about security. I'm talking about the school administrators. They did some type of training that was supposed to work along with law enforcement. Then they put these people on campus by themselves. Yeah. And I don't know how loose the supervision was. I do know that one guy got caught making out with like a 13-year-old girl.
But that's what I'm saying. It doesn't.
Security. It's like, what was the purpose of that?
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to have like schools should hire a security company. They should not take on liability on themselves.
No,
It's too much.
I believe everybody should hire
Yeah,
a company.
it's too much. You don't have enough knowledge on that. You're not covered by a lot of stuff. Like you just don't know how to handle like you're in the business of school.
In the famous words of Deion Sanders, let the main thing be the main thing.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
that's not your main thing, then trying to add on a security aspect to the rest of your day as a principal, I think that they should trust individuals to do that. And if they're messing up doing that.
Yeah, but the school that our kids go to, an example, that would be probably the only time that I would say, oh, okay, they hired their own security, is they're all retired law enforcement. So they kind of have already.
That could be good and bad now. Because
Well,
you
yes,
get,
but
you get guys collecting a check.
They said
might
they
think
had
twice
someone create the whole how'd you call that? Like how they
their security plan, the site
yeah,
plan.
the security plan, the site plan. Like they had like some guy in the FBI
I'm
create
gonna
a
tell you the
security
truth how I
plan.
feel about like retired guys because I'm retired, and
Yeah, but not for the same reason.
well, correct. I'm retired, but what happens with most guys that get into like they were in law enforcement, they worked 25 years, they're retired. So most guys, just say you start at 21, you retire after 25 years, you're 46. Still pretty young. What happens to the guys that started at 40 and now they're retired in their 60?
Yeah, but you see it. What you're saying is like they're older.
A bunch of senior citizens, like you don't
Yes,
want
but
you don't want
you
a bunch
can
of guys
tell.
that are tired all the time.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean hopefully they hire the good ones. I'm talking about our scenario right now. Yeah, the guys are a little bit older, but they're still sharp,
Yeah, you hope so. I think that
I guess.
if you're looking at just the security aspect and you're looking at everything that goes into it, I think you want people that are capable of standing up for long periods of time. You want people that train, and from my understanding, the guys at the school where we're at now do quite a bit of training. The security plan has to be competent and it has to work in real time. So that type of training, I think, needs to be done on a weekly basis. It shouldn't be something that,
Yeah, no, but I also think that as we move on with technology, I think that human presence is good, but it should just be more. Like, I feel like the schools, especially big schools, there's only so much you can do with a few security guards, and schools are not going to give out all their budget into one, a security company.
Thing. Like, I'm going to show you this
so
video.
like smart cameras, facial recognition,
But
you know what I mean?
Look
like
at
metal
this.
detectors.
And I'm glad you said camera, but look at this, right? This is a video that happened, and we'll cut out so you can take a look. But look.
Now at noon, a teacher is recovering after being attacked by two students, and it was all caught on camera.
It happened last week at Dillard High School in Fort Lauderdale and ended in some arrests. Local 10's Michaela Hightower is live outside that school this midday.
And you have reaction, I know, from some of the students about what was really a brutal beatdown.
Yeah, we sure do. We spoke to two students who got an up-close and personal view of that fight that broke out in front of dozens of students. It's the talk of the school. The moments police say two students beat up a teacher, and it was all caught on camera. 11th graders Janaya Stremi and Caitlin Fadiz say they saw it all go down.
Like, we was walking to go home, and all we seen was two people on the floor getting jumped, and we was like, what is going on?
It all happening in a circle of dozens of students hooping and hollering. Security trying to stop the chaos, but at one point the teacher appearing to not want to let the fight go.
That's the same teacher that be like arguing with students, and he cursed them out and say, I'm gonna fight you after school, and we were like, whoa.
The two Fort Lauderdale teenagers involved have since been arrested and charged with battery on an educator. A Broward County judge giving 19-year-old Javis McClover and Roderick McQueen bond under the condition they don't come back to Dillard High School.
No victim contact, no return to Dillard.
Arrest forms suggest the teens planned the, quote, synchronized physical attack, repeatedly punching the teacher in the face and head with closed fists, causing the teacher to drop to the ground.
I was amazed, like, it's just crazy.
That teacher, according to arrest documents, crawled into a fetal position, attempting to protect himself against the students. The teacher sustained injuries, including facial swelling and bruising, and reported back pain following the vicious attack. Now, according to the inmate detail, the 2 teenagers accused of this crime are no longer in jail. They have since bonded out. For now, I'm live outside of Dillard High School. Michaela Hightower, Local 10 News.
So in that situation, like the students jumped a teacher and there was nobody there. So they probably had one either guardian or one police officer that was going to come and respond. But remember, it's a school with 5,000 students. What is one guy with a gun going to do?
Yeah, but well, first,
And
it's not enough, obviously.
You mentioned the technology, right? The cameras are great. And so I think they should have cameras in all of the classroom. I think that somebody needs to be monitoring those cameras. That's the technology aspect.
Yes.
The biggest thing is like who was out there, because I don't want to play Monday morning quarterback and said, if we were out there, we would. No, I want to say that's highly unsafe.
No, but most people just don't have enough staff. Like if we would compare schools to event, and I'm telling you, I'm throwing an event and I have 5,000 people coming. How many guards should I have?
It's one for every 50.
Okay, so could you imagine? And now you're telling me I'm running a full school on an everyday basis with 5,000 with one guy, and I understand that the budget isn't there, especially public school. I think private school, they have no excuse. But public school, I understand that it's a little bit like harder, but I think government should pay for that.
They're
publicly funded? Yeah, but we already know what that is. But we know what that is.
Correct. And so as we move on, you said that you want to see the security be tight and stringent. You don't just want to walk into a school, waltz in, no matter who you are.
Yeah, no.
So you want it to be kind of tight. You want the technology out there. But what about like at school?
Within the school?
Yeah, within the school, like when stuff like this happens, I don't know, like the teacher obviously.
Well, maybe they should have a panic button. I don't know.
They do. He probably couldn't get to it. He got mollywopped. He got jumped by two students. Probably.
There's a situation that you're just not gonna be able to stop. Let's just be honest. We don't know. That's like somebody walking and somebody hits you in the back of your head. Even if you have 30 million people around you, what were you supposed to do? You know what I mean?
You might be knocked out.
Exactly. So there's situations that probably cannot be avoided. Maybe what the teacher needs to take a self-defense class. I don't know.
They tried that. They were talking about giving teachers guns.
No, but not guns. Not guns. But I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't know what to tell you. It doesn't matter if there's a lot of security. Then that would mean you want to secure at every door or inside the classroom.
Schools should be hardened where when it comes down to.
But maybe high school and up.
No, all schools, because.
Inside the classroom.
I'm going to say this, and then we'll move on from the subject. And go
I want to know who's paying for all this.
Well, there should be some funding, but you want schools to be hard enough that if somebody comes there and try to attack, people want to attack vulnerable spots. So attacking a spot with an elementary school with a bunch of babies, they're not going to fight back. And a lot of these people that want to come in and wreak havoc, they know that.
Yeah, but that's like before entering the school. That's like two different things. You know what I mean? Now this school, the video just showed me that's an incident with a student. He's not going to be stopped at the school. He's in school.
Yeah, he's in school.
So so he's allowed. That's what I'm saying. Like what can you do for within the school?
They need to have like a rapid response or a code red. I don't know.
Yeah, but you said he couldn't get to the button. He couldn't do. What was he supposed to do?
He took an ass whipping.
But that's it. There's not. Yeah, there's nothing we could do.
I mean, the kids got arrested, but
yeah, but I'm saying that unfortunately, this is a situation that just stuff's gonna happen.
So segueing from school.
Yeah.
Think about going to school. It means that the kids are gonna have friends, and the friends are gonna have birthday parties. So think of how many times we've gone to trampoline parks. And not for nothing, I don't mean to talk down on trampoline parks, but like,
no, I don't like them.
I can't think of a more dangerous situation. You talking about people that don't want to hire security? They're notorious for not wanting to hire security.
I know.
And there's no control. Like I walked in there with a full-size weapon on, like a Glock 19X. For all of you gun aficionados that know how big a 19X is, I had a hump in my shirt this big. Nobody stopped me. And there's babies of all ages in there. There's adults in there. Some of them are drinking. I think they serve beer at the back at most of these trampoline parks and these party locations.
But that's like saying that, well, that's pretty much what you're saying, but everywhere should have security.
Everywhere.
Because at this point.
Not just because we're in the business, but everywhere should have some sense of security. Like, okay, when there's babies involved.
Especially when a lot of people are involved, period.
Banks got a big thing up that says no concealed weapons. credit
Yeah.
unions, no concealed weapons. That's great. But what about all of these?
Yeah, but these
trampoline
have
parks?
security. Yeah, exactly. Trampoline park.
And the
no.
banks still have an armed guard to protect their assets.
I mean, most arcades have security. Just the trampoline parks just do not have. I don't know why.
They don't. Trampoline parks are dangerous for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I hate them.
The main reason is
Yeah.
because they don't have any security and it's so loose. Sometimes you can lose your child. Like there's one way in, one way out on most of them.
Yeah.
But how many times have we gone there and be like, oh my God, where's the baby?
Yeah.
Because they're running around crazy. So trampoline parks definitely need security.
Yeah, they should call us.
Yeah, they should. They should call somebody.
Well, us.
Us.
But yeah.
Yeah. So trampoline parks need security. Schools need security. What about just in regular everyday life sporting events? Think how many sporting events we go to where you go there and you see the parents being a little overzealous.
And by sporting events, yeah, you mean youth sports.
Youth sports.
Because-
Like where people are all paying to come in, you're there with a 9-year-old.
Because most high school sports do have security in games. It's
They do,
youth
'cause they don't.
sports. Yeah, exactly. But the youth sport, I think people forget how crazy people are.
Parents think that their kid is about to go from 9U to the NFL.
I would say 6.
Yeah. They think that. So you got parents out there yelling. People carry those Stanley cups.
I mean, we hear
all
those
know the Stanley
incidents.
cups aren't filled with water.
Yeah, and electrolytes.
yeah.
There is we hear it all the time.
Uh-huh.
You know, parents shooting coach, kids shooting kids, parents shooting kids, parents shooting another parents. It's like over parents shooting referees, and still nobody has learned that you need
It's a
to
money
have
thing.
security.
It's a money thing because
They don't wanna
many
spend
of-
it.
Yeah, they don't want to spend it. And
Yeah.
then the people that do these events, that make money off these events, need to consider like, hey, the liability far outweighs. Like, if you think that something's going to go wrong with adults, that's one thing. But if you think that the liability that you're going to face dealing with
Yeah.
children,
I was really
they're going to
nervous.
sue you out of business.
I was nervous. Our kids playing football.
Basketball too.
Yes, but mainly football. I was
Baseball, a guy ran
during-
on the field. This is rec league baseball.
Yeah,
a guy
you're
ran on
right.
the field.
but
my
I
son
didn't
beamed him.
feel like everybody had guns swinging them around. And at football, they were.
1,000%.
And it
The guy
was
showed
so
a
much
gun. He
more
said, "Hey, you want some of
aggressive. And
this?"
but it was like every time, it was so much more aggressive. And it was becoming like, you know, there was a fight after every practice or every like local games before the
the
season.
rivalry game.
It was just so bad. It was to a point where I had to rethink, like, do I even, like, is this worth it? Like, do I want to be here?
That's what it should
I would
come
never
to,
put myself
because
in
you
this
restrict your
situation.
kids.
Yeah, but now I have to be in, and it's like, why? Why do I have to be in this? Like, this is crazy. I would be better if there was security, but there was none.
There was none. And then I offered.
I
think
know.
that at one point during the season, I said, hey, guys, let me
Please.
please provide you security.
Yeah.
I'll even do it as a donation. And you know what they said? Yeah, we'll get back with you.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to accept the fact that a
They
lot of
need
these
it?
situations, they need it, and they've been neglecting for so long.
I know.
So, you know, when you think about it, schools need security. Must have. I think they need more than one guy. There's no way that one guy's going to protect 5,000 kids.
I would say 5 minimum, to be honest. I don't know, like, school across America. We're really talking about, we're in South Florida, so we're really talking about here what we know, what we see. I don't know every single school, but at least if you're elementary, middle, and high school, like, you need a lot of security.
Well, we've covered schools from
You need a lot of
Timbuktu
security.
to Kalamazoo.
I know.
We everywhere. So,
But I
they all
know
run
their
into the same problems.
request is not what they should have.
Correct.
Does that make
They're
sense?
doing it as a reaction
Yeah,
to a
exactly.
threat.
To something happen. You
Yeah.
already know. Every time they
should
call
be
you, like,
doing
okay, what
it-
happened?
Yeah, it's like car insurance.
Yeah.
You don't need it until you need it. And I think security should be the same way. So schools, event spaces, and youth sporting events all
Yeah.
need security.
1,000%. I mean, we can name a whole lot more, but it would be a long episode. But yes, this is
So-
just kids related. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
protecting the babies, I think, should be number one. We care about our kids. I'm sure you care about yours. If you need security, call us, 844-254-8273, or you can reach us on the web at www.fastguardservice.com. And I think you guys should find some value from this episode. When it comes down to it, your kids are most important. What's more important than your kids? I hope it's not money. If you need us, call us. If you need security, and the individuals that are organizing your event or organizing the sporting event don't want to hire security, write a nasty gram on the internet.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. For this episode of Fast Guard News. Thank you.